Yes, so I mean, for us, it's very important to work hand in hand with our teams or partners and our suppliers. And we have obviously a few kind of like great success stories that we are very proud of. One of them is actually the work that we've done with Allianz around the reduction and the phase out of single-use plastics on our events. We've actually, I mean, worked collaboratively with Allianz to implement hydration stations that are basically water fountains available, basically distributing free water to the public on our events with reusable vessels. Sometimes it's eco cups, or sometimes it's water pouches that are always, I mean, donated and reusable by the public. And with this, we actually managed to save 300,000 plastic bottles in a basically 18 months, which is obviously huge and absolutely fantastic, because it was such a great, I mean, tangible results to showcase to our fans, but also to showcase that really the initiative that brought its fruits. So that's one of the really interesting examples, and we try and always really, I mean, associate these projects onto the sustainable development goals, and really showcase how we are contributing really to try and fight really climate change by one of these angles. Another important example is the work that we've done with our suppliers. I'm going to come back to Gen 3, which is the new generation car that we just revealed. We've actually implemented for each of the three main suppliers for the batteries, the bodywork, and the tires, some sustainability KPIs. And what is really fascinating is that those sustainability KPIs have literally changed the way they're operating as businesses, because it's one of the KPIs forced them to implement an environmental management system, which means that this is a way to think the manufacturing of the product considering the environmental impact that they have. And that has literally changed the way they do business, because they've actually realized that there were new business opportunities in changing this approach, in recycling the products, in potentially reusing some of these products. So this is really, really strong, because this is how, I mean, we really changed the face of an industry, and this is trickling down to the rest of basically their clients that will benefit from this basically new way of doing business. And last but not least, with the teams, what is really amazing is that the teams are really the stars of the championship, but they are really also very committed to sustainability. All the teams of Pallé have to have a certain level of environmental management in terms of their own best practices. We're lucky to have a standard that is basically coming from our international federation, the FIA, that requires them to have the highest level of environmental management possible. And each team then is really building on, let's say, like their own culture, their own uniqueness, to showcase, I mean, what really matters to them. So we've got some teams that are really focused on plastic phase out, some teams that are really focused on the impact that, mobility has in creating smarter cities and more livable cities. And ultimately, all the teams are really working to advance technological transfers from the garages to the passenger cars that you and I will be driving tomorrow. I was actually the other day on a conference with someone from DS from the big French group, Citroën. And DS is actually transferring in terms of long-term innovation in just 4 years, what they've been basically finding and developing in the garages of Pallé into the cars that they are actually selling and, I mean, putting on the roads. So it's really fascinating.